Welcome back. This is the Daily Thunder podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Woods. I am joined tonight by my guy, Daily Thunder beat writer, Brandon Rahbar. Brandon, how are you, man?
I am actually sick right now, but hey, the show must go on, and that's including the Daily Thunder podcast.
That's right. Last game, I was out later than normal. It threw our entire schedule off, and tonight we're gonna fight through a little bit of sickness. But Darius Bazley's here to cure everything. Actually, he's not. 9 turnovers tonight, although he played really, really, really well on the offensive end. Led the team with 17 points, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Was not expecting him to come out and look so nice on the offensive end. I will say, not just on this show, but I would say this show has been a reflection of the overall mood of Thunder fans towards Darius Bazley. Just a little down and hoping to see more. Excited about potential, but wanting to see more of it. And tonight, he plays his first game since March 4th, and he was, I would say, much better than I expected him to be after such a long break. 17 points, 9 boards, and 5 assists.
Yeah, and he was hitting his shots. That's the thing with Bays. We know he can rebound. We know he can block shots. We know he's got some skill as a ball handler and those things, but he hasn't been finishing this season. You know, he's been shooting under 30% from three on over 5 attempts per game, and he hasn't been finishing so hot at the rim. But tonight, came out, hit his first 3 threes, ended up 3 for 4 from three, went 7 for 12 from the field, ended with 17 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. Solid stat line all the way around. He looked sharp, except, and he admitted this in the post game, the turnovers. He had 9 turnovers, so he's actually really close to a triple-double with the 9 turnovers and 9 rebounds. But overall, a really solid game back from Darius Bazley for sure.
And led the team with 35 minutes, almost 36 minutes. Like he's all the way back. Like he's playing a ton. I would assume he'll continue to play big minutes going forward. Also, Lou Dort was back tonight. His first game in about 10 days following a concussion. So good to see him back on the floor. He had 15, 5 boards, hit a couple threes. Another, solid night from Teo. Another couple threes for him. But as we've seen, like the Thunder have been dead last in both offensive and defensive rating over the last couple weeks. Like they are struggling, and it's due to all the turnover in the lineup and playing a lot of young guys, G League guys that they've just brought in that they want to get a look at. The plan is working. I didn't know that they were dead last in both offensive and defensive rating over the last couple weeks until yesterday, but it does confirm what we're looking at on the floor. Like they struggle to score and they struggle to stop teams from scoring.
Yeah, and it's, when you're missing your 2 best players, and there's no doubt about it, Shea and Al Horford were the 2 best players. And then you have other starters missing between Bazley and Dort for this long, and then George Hill was supposed to be a starter. It's going to happen. I actually think that the team played pretty well tonight, considering no SGA and Horford and Muscala. The 76ers are really, really good, even without Simmons and Curry, and you just go down the line. They just have good players all the way across the board. This is a really good team. And the Thunder, if you don't judge against what competition they're playing against, they played really well. Besides the turnovers, they shot well. They got created good shots. I thought they played hard defense, but you're playing against some really tough shot makers. It was really just the turnovers that was, to me, the reason why the game was such a blowout. If it wasn't for that, I think the return of Bazley and Dort and how well they played tonight would have made this a little bit too close for comfort for some Thunder fans.
Yeah, no doubt. And like you're saying, the first quarter Oklahoma City lost by 12. The fourth quarter they lost by 10. Second and third quarters they lost by one each. Like they played them pretty much straight up those middle quarters, and that was thanks to the bench. Like they outscored Philly's bench. Let's see, 47-43. They got a good lift off of the bench tonight. So yeah, I mean I thought Ty Jerome played well. He had a couple really, really nice passes. He also got knocked in the head. I think he took an elbow to the head and was bleeding at one point. Came back and looked fine. Especially after guys going out recently with concussion stuff. I was glad to see him like be able to continue playing. As someone that did not continue playing after just 8 minutes was Poku, and that was due to, I believe, right arm soreness was what was listed. Did you hear anything post game about that?
Yeah, Mark Daignault said that he tried to give it a go. He was feeling uncomfortable before the game, but he had to go out. He said that since there's 2 days in between their next game, hopefully Poku will be in a better place. So to me, that sounded like at least it's a positive. At the worst, it's day to day, and whether he's hitting shots or not hitting shots, or whether he's making these incredible passes or some incredible turnovers, it's a lot more fun to watch the Poku experience. So that's why I'm glad we at least got Lou Dort back tonight, because it kind of helped to replace the Poku experience with the Lou Dort experience.
Yeah, yeah. Another guy we should mention is Tony Bradley against his former team in Philly. 7 of 11 from the floor. Another solid night rebounding the ball. He had 14 boards. Finished with 16 and 14. I thought he was solid.
Yeah, the Thunder have two interesting prospects in Tony Bradley and Moses Brown. I think we all got hyped about Moses Brown, and for good reason, with all the rebounds and shot blocking and the double doubles that he was putting up. But Bradley's a more refined player at this point. He's a little bit older. He was taken late first round. Moses was undrafted. And a lot of that just has to do with the fact that Bradley is, at this point, he just kind of finishes better. He has more touch, smarter decisions with the ball, all those things. Doesn't seem to rush himself at all. He looks like an NBA player. Moses Brown just oozes with potential because of that size. But Bradley's the better player probably overall right now. Moses' ceiling, I think, is higher. But I'm really curious to see what the Thunder do, because neither of them are shooters. And, the new era of Thunder basketball, they want shooters 1 through 5 on the floor. And the two young centers that they have right now, Moses and Bradley, neither of them are shooters. So I'm really curious. I feel like only one's going to stick around in a backup role for the long haul. And I'm not sure which one that's going to be yet.
Yeah, I agree. And what did you think about Jalen Horde tonight? He played, he's getting a lot of minutes. He's not putting up huge numbers, but I don't know, maybe they're just taking a look at him and he'll move on after the year. Have you seen anything that makes you think he'll be around for longer than just the end of the season?
No, I think it's exactly what that is. When they gave Moses the real contract, they needed to give somebody a contract. And I think, Horde makes sense. Sam Presti did a lot of scouting in the G League bubble. He was there for a long time. We had noticed Steve McGehee from Channel 9 and I would sit by each other at these Thunder games. But we had noticed that Sam Presti hadn't been at a Thunder game in quite a while. So come to find out, he was at the G League bubble. So I just kind of feel like I trust whatever Sam Presti saw in guys like Justin Robinson and Jalen Horde. From all the G League bubble watching he did, those were the guys that he decided to bring up. I'm with it. If Presti sees there's something, and they've each shown a little something, in what the Thunder are trying to do, just look at a bunch of young guys, churn the roster, see what sticks, see if anybody has anything like a Moses Brown. to where they show out and possibly stick around for a little bit longer. I think that's what they're doing with Horde and Robinson right now.
So Oklahoma City drops their 6th in a row. That is a that is a welcomed phrase at this time of the year. Um, they uh, they moved past. Hold on, let me reset this. Yeah, they moved past Toronto. Toronto, or sorry, moved underneath, I should say, Toronto. Toronto blew the doors off of Cleveland tonight. Washington got a really big win last night. We were talking about this. We were talking about this in the group chat last night. Big win for the Wizards over the Warriors. Um, the Warriors get to 19 wins. Cleveland's sitting at 19 wins, and Oklahoma City's at 20. So those are your teams at 5 and 6. Oklahoma City's at 7 right now, and Toronto now moves to let's see, 21 wins. So I think Oklahoma City's doing a really, really good job right now of exploring the roster and losing games. We've been looking for this all year, and they are really committed. It feels like this is going to be kind of their mode of operation the rest of the year, and so they are gunning for one of those bottom 5 records. And with Cleveland continuing to play Sexton and Garland and Kevin Love now, like Okoro, they're playing guys that they are invested in huge minutes. Obviously, they're playing. I just think they have a much better chance of picking off 2 or 3 wins over the last remaining few weeks than Oklahoma City does. If Shea's going to sit the rest of the year, and obviously we don't know that for sure yet, but if he's going to sit and Oklahoma City's going to put on the floor, kind of what we saw tonight, I think they have a really, really good shot at getting to 5.
Yeah, I think 5 is the goal, and I think it's a very realistic goal. They're already so close, and there's so many games left. And, the Wizards, we knew that beating the Suns on the second night of back-to-back without Bradley Beal was going to be tough. They hung in it for a half, and then it got away from them. Then they have the Jazz on Monday. That's likely a loss. You never know. But then after that, they got the Kings, the Pelicans, the Pistons, the Thunder, the Warriors, the Thunder again, the Cavaliers. So the Wizards are going to Spurs, who've been bad lately, then the Cavaliers again after the Lakers. The Wizards are going to win more games than the Thunder the rest of the way, as long as Russ and Bill play, and it looks like they want to. Whether that's the right move or not, you could argue. But, in the East, it's kind of right there for the taking, even being a couple games out of the play-in. So I think that the Thunder will pass the Wizards. The Cavs could be difficult, but they do, like you said, playing Sexton and Garland. They picked up a couple of wins over the Thunder and the Spurs back-to-back, both over 20-point wins. So they have that potential now, especially with Love back. And they have an easy schedule coming up as well. The Pelicans, the Hornets, the Warriors, the Bulls, Pistons, Bulls, Hornets, Wizards, Raptors, Magic, Wizards again. So both the Wizards and the Cavs, the two teams right in front of the Thunder, have easy schedules. I really think that 5 is the way to go. Maybe the Magic pick up some wins and the Thunder can climb into the 4 spot, but I doubt that. But if the Thunder end up in the 5 spot, you got to consider that a win when you look at how things were, even a couple of weeks ago.
Yep. So just so I'm clear, you said the Wizards and Cavs have 2 more games remaining against each other,
which is huge.
Yeah. So you're looking at so Oklahoma City plays Washington 2 more times. So if you put both of those games in Washington's camp, then you're Washington right there without any other wins is at 21. Cleveland could win both of those games against Washington and be at 21. So those are really, really, really big games.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All these games between the bottom 8 teams are huge games for the Thunder moving forward.
Yeah.
And there's certain teams like the Rockets, the Wolves, and the Pistons probably that you're like, just go ahead and lose those games. Let the other teams that the Thunder are in contention with pick up wins because the Thunder aren't likely to catch those 3 anyways.
Exactly. So, Thunder fans, if you're looking for who to root for, and I know sometimes it can be tough, you're looking at Houston playing one of those teams. It's it's still in the best interest for a team like Houston to lose that game, for a team like Toronto or Washington or Cleveland or even Orlando to pick up that win. Man, I'm getting excited. It really is. It's coming down to the wire, and I think if you just read the rest of their schedule, for Cleveland. That means I think that's Washington Cleveland last game of the season.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just looking at like kind of the near future, but
Okay, okay,
it just so happened that they both had a lot of easy games coming up.
sure, yeah, and I know, yeah, Washington's schedule is very
But
favorable.
no, you're right though. That was the Wizards Cavaliers is the second to last game of the season actually. So,
Wow,
and as a matter of fact, the last game is yet to be determined. So it could end up being the last game of the season. Oh, that's why they play each other 3 more times.
let's go,
Yeah, that's
let's
huge.
go. That's
Yeah.
massive.
Because I was gonna say, because I knew that the ones that I read were in the upcoming schedule. Yeah, they got a game there at the end too. That's big time.
That's massive. So right now, Chicago is at 22 and 29. So, and they're in 10th. So, Washington is just 3 games back of Chicago for that 10th spot, and Cleveland's just 3.5. So who knows that? I mean, that's kind of a cluster that Indiana, from like Indiana down to Cleveland, is kind of a cluster from 9 to 13. So yeah, how good is that? They play each other 3 more times.
Yeah,
Have at it. So, and Oklahoma City plays Sacramento twice in that last week, as well as Golden State. So those are going to be very important games. That last week could make or break where Oklahoma City falls.
absolutely, absolutely. You got to feel pretty good if the Thunder end up five, and then they still have a 48% chance of getting the Rockets pick at number five or number six. You got to figure, the odds are pretty solid that the Thunder will end up with a top draft pick, and hopefully they end up with 2 top draft picks.
It would be man, the post draft lottery night podcast, if that happens, will be electric. Um,
Absolutely.
so 2 more things I want to hit on before we get out of here, and that is uh, Oklahoma City opening up a roster spot for Gabriel Deck. Wanted to see what you knew about him.
Yeah, so I've done a lot more research on Gabriel, and I actually know it's Gabriel and not Gabriel
My
after all my
apologies.
research. No, I said Gabriel at first too until I read that the correct way, the European way, is Gabriel Deck, and I still don't know how to say Mitic, Mistic.
I think it's
I don't,
Mitchich.
and I'm not even going to try his first name yet, Misic. But I've done a lot of research on both of these guys, and I'm telling you, Misic, gosh, I sound so stupid on
I
this.
I do think they're both CHs. I think it's Mitchich.
Okay, Micic. Okay, Micic is legit one of the very best players in the entire EuroLeague. The 76ers really were high on him and hoping he would come over for the last couple of years, and he didn't. And now that he's been traded to the Thunder from the 76ers in the Al Horford trade, now he's going to come over and play in the NBA. I'm sure that they are not too pumped about that. It makes that Al Horford trade that much better for the Thunder. This dude, at the very, very worst, is going to be like a primo backup point guard in the NBA. This dude is legit. Yeah, he's 27. He just turned 27, though. I mean, he can shoot, he can defend, he can pass like great. Like his vision and his passing is unreal. I'm not going to say it's Ricky Rubio esque, but remember before Rubio came over, you'd watch all those highlights of his passing and just be in awe. This was like kind of like the light version of that for me with Mitchich. He's really, really good. Just all around game. He can do it all. And then Deck, he's solid. He's the best comparison I saw that I kind of like was that he's kind of like the European version of Kenrich Williams. He just kind of does it all and does it
Hmm.
all pretty well. Maybe he's not elite in any one thing. He just has an overall Swiss Army knife skill set. And he should be, again, a really solid rotation player in the NBA. Both of them really nice moves.
And we should see. Will we see Deck here in the next week or so?
You would think so. The latest report I saw, and this was coming from Europe, some reporters over there, they're guesstimating it's going to be April 20th after the road trip. So I'm sorry, April 23rd. It would be a Friday against the Wizards at home, and Russell Westbrook could be his debut after this big long road trip the Thunder are about to go on. Uh, they think that he's got to go through some different safety and health protocols since he's coming from Europe instead of, you know, being traded from another team in the USA.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit longer than first expected.
And speaking of Washington coming to Oklahoma City, Russell Westbrook, he got his 11th triple double in the last 14 games tonight. He is 13 away from tying Oscar Robertson's all-time career mark of 181. So we could see a little piece of history at some point here concerning our old mate Russ, and one of those nights could be coming up that night in Oklahoma City.
Oh, he'll absolutely get a triple double in OKC.
You
I
can
have
pencil
no
that
doubt.
in.
And every Thunder fan will want him to do it too, including
So
myself.
I would imagine you'll be at that game.
Oh yeah. I'm absolutely going to be at that game, no doubt.
All right. First of all, Brandon, thanks so much for jumping on, even though you're feeling a little down. Thunder fans, we do this for you. Okay, we do this for you. Brandon's over here fighting it out, but just a battle over there. It's an absolute battle for Brandon.
Dude, I should have had some Kleenex ready. I'm going to go blow my nose after this. I'm going to be like, I'm probably going to sound 100% better. I'm like, why didn't I do that before the podcast instead of after the podcast?
He's playing hurt, folks. All right, Thunder fans, thanks so much for listening. Brandon, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you a couple days off. So rest up, a couple days off, and we'll be back.
Absolutely, buddy. Have a good one.
Yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday. All right, thanks so much. This is the Daily Thunder Podcast.